So, I'm going to talk about El Terrible Toreador. Toreador? Toreador is basically a matador. Because when I looked it up, it said or matador. So that's basically what that is. This is the second silly symphony after Skeleton Dance. This is the second one, which also went in the public domain this year, which is thus why I'm reviewing it. This one, which came out on September 26, 1929, is an interesting one. I don't think it is as well remembered, nor should it be, as Skeleton Dance, which was a really interesting, really great cartoon. This one is stranger and weirder, and I don't fully understand what they're doing here. It opens, it's in Spain somewhere, and there's this lady, and she's walking around. She gets an amazing tip from this guy in like a white suit and stuff. He gives her a coin. He hits on her and all this stuff. But then the Toreador comes in, and basically the lady's more into him, and the other guy who looks like a cop basically gets all upset and stuff. And then the short goes into the whole matador thing. And it's almost like you could like not have this opening. Like you really just don't need it. I don't understand why you would want to do that. It doesn't really. I don't get it. So anyway, this whole intro is just silly nonsense, and this guy like gets all mad at him, and then like his clothes come off, and he's wearing long underwear, which I appreciate the long underwear joke from 1929. But then the Toreador, I think, or Matador really, goes into the ring. You see the nice lady from the restaurant, and the guy again, for some reason. He really doesn't need to be there, but this is silly, so we'll just ignore that. And then they are there, and you see the Toreador and the bull basically fight each other, and it's actually it's like really silly. At first they're like punching each other and stuff like that, and they're like, like at one point they do patty cake, they're doing this and that, and they're just sort of being silly. And then the jerk from the beginning decides to put pepper in the flowers, and then the girl gives them the flowers, and the bull gets mad. He has a really cool walk cycle kind of thing. And then he's coming at the bullfighter, the matador, and then the matador literally rips him from inside out and wins the bullfight, which is, it's pretty horrific. Anyway, that's this thing. This was animated by far more people than just Bob Iwerks, although it seems like he was sort of the head person, as it says directed by Bob Iwerks at the beginning of it. You had Les Clark from before, as well as Bert Gillett, Wilfred Jackson, Jack King, and Ben Sharperstein. I think the only Nine Old Men guy was Les Clark, but I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, layouts and backgrounds were Bob Iwerks. It sounds like it was mainly thing. Walt Disney was there, I guess. I don't know what he did. But I like this short. It is fun. But I think Skeleton Dance is so iconic. Like, I don't think this is a great follow-up or anything. I think they were kind of just like messing around with this one. And you can kind of feel, it feels sort of like jam drawing-y, as often these shorts were. But El Terrible Toreador, I don't think he is terrible. Even the title doesn't make sense. None of this makes sense. But it's just sort of like this. But, skeletons dancing in a graveyard doesn't make sense. But it works, so why not? That's kind of the vibe of these first two silly symphonies. I actually sort of like that about them. I think that's actually pretty cool. But yeah, this is a strange cartoon. It's like just like watching a really weird old cartoon. And you're like, what even was that? And then I watch him rip a bull from inside out. And then they're like, cartoon's over, yay! And you're like, what the fuck? It's interesting. I enjoyed it. It is not Skeleton Dance. It is not one of the great ones of this period necessarily, but it is a fun like jam thing that Bob Iwerks did a good job on with a great team of animators, and made a fun little strange short. It does even feel like when the bullfighting thing is like, maybe they should do patty cake. I think he hits him in the bull's butt at one point. It's just such a strange ass little cartoon. But I'm curious to go through more of these silly symphonies, because this feels like more in the animation team messing around than anything. And I actually think that's kind of cool. Like watching these animators mess around and stuff. I mean, it's kind of cool to think about it. It's not cool to watch necessarily, but you know, I don't know if I'd recommend it unless you're going through these as much as Skeleton Dance, but it is kind of fun to watch them kind of, you know, have fun and figure out how to have, you know, a matador and a bull have fun together and stuff like that. So I don't know, it's a fun follow-up. It's interesting to see what they chose to do after Skeleton Dance, but unfortunately this isn't really as iconic, and you can kind of sort of see why.